His father and I did everything we could to save our son. And yet we lost him on Veterans Day 2012 when he put a gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger.
War puts everything on hold and on fast forward at the same time. It's hard to explain. So like I come out of the military in 2012, 30, I think I was 30, you know, tired, get out of the military, it's like, okay, now what? Go where? Do what? Be who? That's called transition. And you know, a lot of guys struggle with it. You try to connect and you fail. You try to fit in and it doesn't feel right. Like you talk to your old buddies and you don't have anything in common. It's almost like being in another country. It doesn't quite make sense. The purpose is gone. The mission is gone. The value is gone. All that stuff was in war because your life was on the line. You know, things you did mattered. It mattered if you did your job. It mattered if you got up. It mattered if you were in physical shape. You know, once you get out, that meaning is missing.
So I was attending a tactical training course with a company called Northern Red. In that course, they start talking about the effects of war and how 22 veterans a day commit suicide. And I wasn't aware of that. And when I became aware, I was like, oh my gosh, it's unbelievable, this is terrible.
You know, and I found out about the suicide rate because a buddy of mine hung himself, you know, a guy that I respected a lot, a guy that actually tried to help me when I was struggling. And I was so self-centered with my own misery, I didn't even know that he was suffering.
I was almost one of those. When I heard about the rate, I didn't believe it. I didn't think it was true. You know, I looked on the VA websites, I looked at all these different resources, and I found out that it was 22 a day. It's recently gone down to 20 a day. You know, you can't unlearn the truth. Once you know this is a representation of what happens every day in America. And once you learn the truth, you can't unlearn it.
I was thinking like, wow, the war's been going on this long. Nobody gives a damn. The VA's clogged. Civilians don't care. You know, I was thinking all this like resentment, self-pity, selfish kind of things. And I was looking in the mirror and all of a sudden something kind of came over me and I looked in the mirror and I said, well, what are you doing about it? You know, and like, I couldn't look back in the mirror and I wasn't doing anything. You know, if you're not happy with other people or yourself or the way the community is, what are you gonna add? What are you gonna bring to the table? You're only 30 years old. Your life's not over. Looking in my past, you know, I had experience in the oil field. I had experience running heavy equipment. I had experience selling things. I put all these things together and I came up with the idea to have a creative monument built in the town I lived in, Nashville, Indiana, you know, soaring. You know, I could tie the community together. I can shed light on something that's so dark. I can participate in my own healing. I can give it away.
Start right here.
All right.
Talk about all the options.
Thank you so much. Good work. I appreciate it.
Save lives, I'm telling you.
I can't just stand by people I know kill themselves 22 a day and just kind of like how I joined the Army. I'm not going to just stand by and let it happen. We're going to do something. And I've been working on it 2 years, the fundraising, getting the family's permission, them going through the grieving process to actually want to go ahead and be a part of this project.
So we wanted to build a monument, then we wanted to take this and put it in the heart of a major city, and we want America to talk about it, we want America to take action, and we want there to be accountability.
About 6 months later, I received an email from Tom asking if my son would be part of this memorial. I'd never had a panic attack before, but I did when I clicked on that email and I read about the Mission 22 website and what they're doing.
You know, it's not just cut out plates, it's thought, families, connections, impact. It has depth. Every family you connect to, you know, that's a serious thing you're discussing.
And he came home in 2007 a different person, and he struggled.
A lot of people say 22, but that 22, those 22 people have a story and they have a face, and it's important that we recognize that they are someone's brother, sister, son, daughter, and it's so important that Mission 22 has really brought to life these people in this memorial.
It doesn't matter if you're for the war or against the war, or you're Republican or a Democrat. We're humans. That's what we're trying to get at here, is this isn't about them and us. This is about everyone together, because that's who we are all as humanity.
We have all these great memorials, you know, with people's names on them and those killed in action and those we've lost. But this one highlighting just what happens on our own soil when our guys come back from war, I think is going to be really important to share across the whole U.S.
It took me 6 weeks to answer his email because I thought, this is not my world. And I don't know that I want my son to be the poster child for suicide. And I, as his mother, to be exposed because this is what I do and I couldn't save my son.
You know, he's being recognized for the, you know, the amazing human being that he was, and I think he would want his story to be told so that it can help, you know, his brethren, his teammates, his fellow veterans. I think that he would be proud that his story is being told.
Being on a holy ground when you come here, like going into church, you be reverent of these soldiers that we have this freedom. We'll be able to honor them because of their sacrifices.
To see this, to see his image, a photograph that I've looked at and loved 1,000 times, and to see it 10 feet tall is... The only other time I felt this way was when I viewed his body, because it's so real, and I would recognize that hand anywhere. It's his personality, and I think that he would love to be part of the squad.
If you can turn a 0 into 1, then it's infinite. If you can literally create something out of nothing, it has an infinite return on investment. You know, everyone wants to go back to who they were. You know, my memories of what was fun, what I liked, who I was, like that's what I want to go back to when this is finished. That's insane. You can't go back. Forward. That's the only way you can go. Even if you don't feel good, but you still create. Sooner or later, that creative force take on a life of its own, and you can be set free.
This is a person in their darkest, most painful place. This isn't the ultimate sin. It's pain and depression, and it's time to talk about it. It's painful, and it's humbling, and it's overwhelming. It's perfect in every way.